Good evening. What's happening, guys? It is the Beast of the East podcast back from a hiatus. Some timing issues, some national championship hangover issues, but we are here. We are with you now. Vinny Hardy, Israel Troupe. What's up, guys?
What's up? Congratulations to the champs. Y'all basking in the glow like we talked about. I was, I listened to the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs just to see what y'all were talking about, what y'all were doing right after the first episode after y'all beat Alabama. So y'all on top of the mountain right now. Can't tell you nothing. Congratulations. And the East brought one home. So
finally. So, well, as we go, I guess Israel will be jumping in and out. I guess
I made it.
Yeah, there he goes. There he is.
Congratulations to you too.
The Alabama Mafia keeps trying to get him to transfer too. So, got a lot to talk about. Obviously, Georgia winning the national championship. I could talk about that for months and months and months, but I won't bore you guys with it. But I've been enjoying gloating at school. I don't know about you, Israel, but I've been enjoying the whole victory lap that I've taken for the last 2 weeks.
Man, I've enjoyed every minute of it, and it's not going to get old. No one can mess with us. About 40 years. 1980 was the last time we won a championship. So, I mean, it feels real good to finally, stick it to some people.
Y'all weren't even born in 80, right?
No,
I was an afterthought at the particular moment in life.
I was -3 years old. How about that?
Wow.
For all you math majors.
It's the first title in
-8.
y'all's life. First title in y'all's life as a Georgia football fan. Wow.
Yeah, it's the second Braves World Championship in my lifetime too.
That's right.
It's the
I'm with y'all
second one for me too.
So
we all share the Braves. So yeah.
And what is it? The 12th Yankees title? Because you're a Yankees fan.
No.
Sort of.
So something like that.
Something like that. Right? Yeah. Well, we got the chat going. Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, we got the chat. It's ready to go. Just need some people to jump on in. Come in, join the show. Got a new psychedelic background. I've been changing the backgrounds. Watch this. Check out this funky stuff right here. Watch this. Whoop. Oh, look at there. That's fancy.
Real trippy.
Fancy like Applebee's. Well, this is the Beast of the East podcast. We are brought to you by Betonline.ag. Betonline would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue to our march to the playoffs and beyond. I need a new happy betting year. Betonline remains the number one spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. New year and a new updated desktop and mobile website. Sign up today. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code Bleav. That's BLEAV to get started. From football, basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. Guys, I want to jump into this whole transfer portal thing because some big news broke over the weekend while we were watching all of these great football games, right? These great NFL games, which we'll get off topic here and talk about those in a little bit. But some big news broke when Alabama landed Jermaine Burton from the national champion Georgia Bulldogs, and want to jump into that a little bit because Israel, as you know, our fans are pretty passionate about just about anything, right? There's been some opinions, even from Cole Hardman. He's even weighed in on the situation about Jermaine Burton transferring to Alabama. Was it the right move? What do you think was behind the transfer? Why do you think he decided A, to leave, and B, to choose Alabama as his destination?
I think it had to do a lot with, what's going on at Georgia right now. Pickens is leaving, which, he becomes the focal point. And, some guys are not really big focal point guys. He goes to Alabama, he's still got some weapons around him that can kind of help him right now. I mean, we got A.D. Mitchell and Ladd McConkey right now. So, I mean, that could be one. Another reason, Coach Hankton left. From what I've heard, they had a great relationship together. And that's one big thing now with the transfer portal is, if a coach leaves, you can leave, and it's not frowned upon to some, but, to go to Alabama, I really don't know the reason behind it. I can understand how some people are like, why would you go to the team you just beat? But at the same time, you got to look at their body of work. They throw the pill around. His end goal was not my end goal. Did I have aspirations to play NFL? A little bit, but I was a baseball guy. So my goal at the end isn't his same goal. He wants to be the man. He wants to get a couple more balls and things like that. So his end goal is to go to NFL. And by all means, if he thinks that that's the move to go, by all means, do it. I'm not mad at him. I don't blame him. Is the move a little unorthodox? Of course. You just beat Alabama. But at the same time, I'm not going to be mad at the kid for choosing his own destination and his own destiny. Just because, I want to be in the red and black.
Right.
Well, it's, y'all are passionate and y'all are football fans, and it is unorthodox, but y'all have seen it before on the basketball side. Severe Wheeler, he beat Kentucky through the inbounds pass that led to the assist that beat Kentucky, transfers to Kentucky. He beats them, then joins them. Now, Cuz Burton is doing the same thing. Beat Alabama, join Alabama. So y'all have had it both happen in both football and basketball in the past year. So it's weird, it's unique, but it's crazy. It has happened 2 times like that.
Yeah, it's and it certainly happened the other way around, where Maurice Smith came in 2016. But honestly, we were talking off air, and when I saw the news, I was like, why Bama? It's like anybody but Bama, because it just feels like why go to somewhere like Alabama? Why not try to get, like, I heard Ole Miss was a possible destination. I think that would have been an even better fit for him, because he would step in there and instantly be the guy, and they throw the pill around too. So I was excited that he was going to join Lane Kiffin. If there was anywhere he was going to go, I thought that was going to be his best fit. But at the end of the day, you hate to lose the kid. I can say I like it, I don't like it, all I want, but at the end of the day, he made a business decision for himself. More the merrier. When Georgia tees off against Alabama, I hope he has 0 catches for 0 yards, 1 carry for -12, and we beat the hell out of Alabama. Otherwise, I wish him well. I hope he makes it to the NFL and does big things, and I hope he remembers where his bread was buttered. That's the University of Georgia. Alabama's just borrowing him until he goes to the NFL, so I hope he realizes that. But
one thing that Alabama
well.
has done, they have, they are the wide receiver factor right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at their body of work with receivers right now, we got a lot of first rounders going out. So to me, it was a business decision, and I'm not going to be mad at a young man for making a business decision and betting on himself. That's one thing I'm not going to do. So Georgia, on the other hand, we really hadn't put out anybody, yet in a long time, since AJ, TK, and Marlon, all those guys kind of left. We got a couple, that are in the NFL right now, but they aren't making a big impact, as years pass. So, for me, I think it was a big decision for him. You got Devontae Smith, Waddle, before the situation with Ruggs, him, Ridley, all those guys that have come through Alabama, although all those guys have gone first round. So, it was a business decision, and I'm not mad at a kid for making a business decision.
No, never. And that goes for anybody. Anybody going from place A to place B. Most of the time there's a reason. And, when you look at Georgia's roster, they were going to have to purge some people anyway, because they've got to get down to 85. And a lot of teams are going through this because, COVID, they expanded their rosters. Now they have brought the scholarship limit back down to 85. So a lot of people are having to get on the move in this weird kind of transitional period. So it's not abnormal, and there's going to be more to go. from Georgia and from just about everywhere else. So buckle up, man. This transfer portal ride is going to get even bumpier. So, Vinny, I wanted to excuse me. I wanted to ask you about Javon Baker, big receiver coming to Kentucky from Alabama. So they get Jermaine, they lose Baker.
Yeah.
Baker goes to UK. This is the second year in a row you've gotten what seems to be, it seemed to be a big transfer, turned out to be a big transfer in Wan'Dale Robinson. Now you get the same in Javon Baker. What are the expectations for him?
The room's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of competition. Wan'Dale is leaving, so that's a lot of production that is heading out the door, and you can't blame him either. They got the kid from Virginia Tech coming in as well. Good recruiting class. And I don't know if Baker still didn't think he'd get a lot of clock at Alabama. And a lot of it, too, is Kentucky actually showing balance on offense, throwing the ball. You saw what Wan'Dale was able to do. There's some kids there now that are in this incoming class. Dane Key out of Lexington that wasn't looking at Kentucky at all and commits to Kentucky. He was looking at Michigan. He was looking at South Carolina, sees what Cohen does in his offense and decides to stay home. Wan'Dale a couple years ago didn't stay home. He went to Nebraska because the offense was just 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not, appealing to an elite wide receiver. And now we've seen in 1 year, you get Will Levis coming back, you get another year in Cohen's offense. So now you got guys coming in. Okay, we can actually come to Kentucky and get a little something done through the air, when that hadn't been the case in a long time.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Levis has proven that. As I shamelessly plug our chat here, filling it with filling up with some follow-up questions for you to think about. Is Kentucky turning into a wide receiver factory themselves? Maybe, and I think Will Levis proved that he could push the ball downfield. Liam Cohen proved he's going to have some more creative schemes, even though they're still run heavy. And Israel, we talked about on Bleav and Georgia Dawgs last week that you can't really get an explosive passing attack without an explosive run game. Kentucky has shown that. All these NFL guys that come in, Todd Monken, Liam Cohen, and the countless others, they come in and it's run first. We're going to establish a run. And you see these offenses kind of take off and put up big numbers. So Wan'Dale Robinson had a huge year. He'll get a big payday in that regard. So I'm happy for him. I'm glad he decided to come home. Because I think he was wasting away out there in Nebraska. But, Javon Baker, I expect him to step right in and be a factor. I mean, I think he can be somebody that I don't know that he can take the torch that Wan'Dale Robinson had, because Wan'Dale Robinson was just such a dynamic weapon. I don't know what Javon Baker can bring in those regards. But I certainly have high expectations for him coming in. I think he can make an immediate impact.
Yeah, when a wide receiver's transferring to Kentucky, that's saying something about that offense, because I haven't seen them throw the ball like they've done this year since the Woodson days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a long time, So when a receiver's transferring to Kentucky, that means they're doing something right. As far as, like you said, pushing the ball downfield, not just relying on the run. So I think Kentucky's trending in the right direction. You can tell that if they're getting recruits, everything at transfer portal, I mean, the sky's the limit for every other program.
Yeah, no doubt. Did y'all lose anybody big in the portal?
Cedric Dort, a corner, transferred today. Grad transfer, is leaving, going to Wisconsin, which is a bit of a blow. They're kind of thin at corner. Yusuf Corker was already leaving, was already graduating. So they got to get some DBs. Had a couple guys in the portal they thought they were getting, and it hasn't kind of worked out yet. So they're going to kind of in scramble mode a little bit as far as DBs are concerned. But we've, like you said, with the portal now, is you maybe not panic as much as you would have in the past. And they played the portal game really well last year as far as bang for your buck. Will Levis, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darrell Rosenthal, Jaquez Jones. Every one of those guys came in and balled. So, their track record in the portal is pretty good. And I'm interested to see what they kind of do to kind of address some of these needs that have popped up in the secondary, because they're a little thin now, but they gotta fill some spots back there.
Yeah, they do, and I think they can. I mean, that's what the portal's for. It's for, it's kind of like a get well soon place, and I think a lot of people are benefiting. I know Arkansas is benefiting. They got Latavius Brini amongst others. It's notable to Israel and I, but I think that he can make an impact there. I think that with the defense, the scheme that they play, I think he might be a better fit there in Barry Odom's scheme.
Mm-hmm. With that, and I think I saw Billingsley from Alabama's going to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like
uniting with Start.
It's not like we are losing, so much at Georgia. I mean, it's everybody's losing something somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So for most fans, especially our Georgia fans, everybody just calm down. I mean, we're plucking kids out of transfer portal. We got guys coming back. I mean, Coach Kirby and all those guys still on the recruit trail. So I mean, we got time. Everybody just chillax. You know what I mean? It's part of the process. You win some, you lose some. Like I said the other day, the more trophies you win, I mean, the more problems you have.
That's right. And then the last one I wanted to talk about, Israel, Lavassier Carroll. Is he going to be a running back at South Carolina, or is he going now? Is he just a corner?
I think he's a corner. I think they need a little bit of help in the secondary. So I think that's a good move for him. South Carolina's on the move. You get to reunite with Coach Beamer. So and you got to look at it. A lot of these kids are going places where they have relationships that was already established. Even on their recruiting trail. The coaches that recruited them are also looking at them through the portal. So you can say, well, why is he doing that? Well, the same coach that recruited him is the guy that's there now. So there's a rhyme and a reason for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, and they're kind of bringing him in as an athlete, I think, because they are losing Kevin Harris and Zaquandre White to the NFL draft. So there's some sort of thought maybe that when he gets there, they'll kind of see where he fits. So, the old school, like they're recruiting you as an athlete and they're just going to kind of figure it out as you go, which I think that's kind of a cop out, but it's kind of a lazy thing. But in cases like this, maybe because they might have a need at running back. So, and if you watch his IMG running back highlights, holy cow, man, they're ridiculous. I mean, he's a great athlete. So, just couldn't see the field at Georgia. Was definitely not gonna get ahead on the running back depth chart for sure. And then couldn't quite crack the cornerback either. So. Good move for him, I think, and if he wants more playing time, and he's going to go to a program that's on the rise, South Carolina is a spot for him. So, any last thoughts on transfer portal guys?
No, I mean,
or
I think it's a
Carroll?
fresh start for guys, and when I was coming up, you had to sit out a year. I think it's great that they get to play. As soon as they get there, make an impact. And like I said, it's a business decision for anybody. It always depends on what your end goal is. If your end goal is just to play, then most people stay where they are. But most players, especially football players, end goal is make it to the NFL. And I'm never going to be mad at a kid for making a business decision and betting on himself and going somewhere where he feels like he has a better chance to, make his dreams come true.
Absolutely, can't go wrong there, man. Cannot go wrong there at all. So that's a transfer portal. Like it, love it. Whatever you want to do, I think it's in really, really good shape. You could maybe clean a couple things up on it, perhaps, but I think overall, I think they're doing the right thing with it. So it's all good.
Yeah, that is. I think a lot of people freaked out about it, thinking it's going to be the Wild Wild West. It's going to be chaos, and there's a lot of movement and stuff like that. But it's not to the level that a lot of people panicking thought it was going to be.
It's chaos right now because of COVID, and like this whole it's almost like you're releasing, it's like that scene, with the Cowboys games where they just open the gates and everybody just comes rushing in, It's kind of like that.
That ain't happened in a long time.
Yeah.
I gotta bring my Cowboys into this.
He's
Oh,
hitting
boy.
us below the belt.
Oh man.
I'm a Falcons fan, guys, so I can't really say much.
We know when the gate opens, ain't nobody flooding in there.
Oh, that's right. They're flood. You can't even. No, it's like you leave people tickets on the windshield, and it's like vandalism.
Hope somebody takes it. Hope.
Yeah. Like
Oh man.
nobody's breaking in your car for Falcons tickets. That's for sure. So, well, I guess we could stay with football, right? I know kind of the order says Kentucky basketball and talk about hoops, but let's talk about the NFL playoffs real quick while we're on that. The Falcons weren't there. They were
Neither
at home
were the
watching.
Cowboys.
The Cowboys were at home watching, and the Rams avoided that magical score of 28-3 that thwarted a Tom Brady comeback, and
Man.
it also sparked a weekend full of excitement. The Titans game ended on a walk-off. Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times, still figured out a way to win. I'm not real sure how that happened. That's my hometown Titans, so I guess you could say I'm maybe a Titans fan a little bit. They're starting to kind of like see like there's a race, and the Falcons are here. Titans are kind of creeping up, So you might see me in two-tone blue before too long.
Man.
But Titans, they number 1 seed, they lost. The Packers, they lost. They lost in a walk-off. Special teams killed that game. Blocked punt, blocked field goal, walk off for the 49ers. Defense they just ruined Aaron Rodgers. The Rams Bucks, that one was crazy. No short of drama. Tom Brady goes down, takes the lead, and Matt Stafford comes right back, drives right back down the field and set up a walk off. And then that Chiefs game, that was an okay game.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was all right. There was it was an all right game. Definitely not one to write home about, right?
Man, I literally had just tweeted because we were having a big argument at the barbershop about who was going to win that game. The Bills had just gone up. I was like, I tweeted, I told them that the Bills were going to win.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Mahomes goes down in 13 seconds and they kick a field goal.
13 freaking seconds.
I was like, what in the world?
I was like,
and then you look at the Rams game, and then the Bucks are about to get coach 30 because number 31 literally pissed down his leg. The moment was way too big for him. Eyes in the backfield, and Cooper Kupp runs right by him.
Knife to butter, man. He's shredded.
And that's exactly how you handle it. You see, Stafford went right down, umpire touched the ball, clock it, kick field goal. That is how you do it. Hey, Dak, I hope you're watching. That is exactly how you do it. Watching the Green Bay game, this is the most NFL football I've watched in forever. Other than I watched Cowboys play, but I mean, these were some great games. And it's amazing since they expanded to 17 games that these guys are still playing balls to the wall. I still think 17 games is too many. But they're playing and they're balling out, and these games were absolutely awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Every time you looked up, somebody from the 49ers was dragging themselves off of the field, because you played 17 games. They had to win their 17th game to even be in the playoffs. Had to beat the Rams in the last game.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're, you catch fire, it's like in the bottle, you barely get in, and then you're on the road. The Giants did it with Eli Manning years ago. We've seen it in baseball where a team just barely sneaks in because they've been
going to run
for 2 months, and then the next thing you know, they're in the World Series because they've been in survival mode already, and the top team in the American League or National League gets beat because this team's already been in, live or die mode. Same thing now with the 49ers. They already had to scrape and claw and fight and scrap, and here they are, a game away from the Super Bowl. So.
You can
absolutely.
look at Shanahan, and he looks like he's living off of Newports and coffee every day. And he looks like he looks like he smokes a pack a day and is drinking coffee because he is like, oh boy, here we go. And that just shows the grind that they're in and they're committed to it. So super gremlins everywhere.
Yeah, I would like to spend a week in that organization just to kind of see what they do. How are they playing at this level still? I think part of why they were dragging themselves off the field is because it was like -4 degrees out there in Green Bay. So, and it was like driving snow, and it's still Israel's favorite playing conditions.
You can't. There's no way to prepare for that. You're in San Francisco. There's no way to prepare for what you're about to get into. Too. Garoppolo's out there throwing with 4 fingers on one hand. It just shows you the toughness that they have.
Debo limped off the field several times. Kittle was limping off the field several times. Just, Debo got blown up. Debo got lit up.
It hurts, man. It hurts getting hit in the cold like that.
Whatever it was, he was up there trying to get his breath. Came back in, picked up that key third down conversion to keep it all going. And they're doing this in spite of Jimmy G. They can say what they want. I know they're a physical team. They run the game, running game, defense, and all that. But, I think the last time they were in the title game and went to the Super Bowl when they lost to the Chiefs, I think Jimmy G only threw 8 times that game. So they know that we can't let this dude we can't put it all in his hands.
No, because he's gonna give it away.
He is.
He threw a pick to Anthony Brown in the Cowboys game.
If I'm the Rams, I sell out on the run.
The Cowboys were fortunate to be in position to have a drive to win the game as bad as they played. Jimmy G kind of let him back in it, and
he threw 3 picks.
He threw one against Green Bay. They know this dude. If we give him too much, he gonna have some turnover, and we're winning in spite of that. Just get the ball, quick, get it to Debo, get it to Kittle, and just get out the way, Jimmy.
It's like he wants to be the hero, so he's trying to make them lose so they can come back.
Something like that.
Self-sabotaging.
Why is Tom Rinaldi interviewing him after the game? Why aren't you interviewing Debo or somebody else? Why are you interviewing Jimmy for?
Or Bosa or somebody.
Why is Jimmy
Bosa's a freaking cheat code, man.
Yeah.
He's a cheat code. Debo Samuel is a freaking cheat code. Brandon Ayuk is he's a liability too. They're winning despite Jimmy G and Brandon Ayuk.
Yes.
It's unreal. Ayuk, like every single time you see a bad 49ers play, who's around? Number 11, Ayuk. It's unreal. Not to be the Bleav in 49ers pod. You should check them out if you want some detailed analysis. But I think that team's unbelievable how they're winning. I don't get it because Jimmy G is awful. It's not awful, but in stretches he is awful, especially like midway through the third quarter, kind of that stretch, like mid third through like early fourth, like that stretch. He's awful.
Yeah, makes me even sicker as a Cowboys fan. Just know that's what you lost to.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they have the lead. Don't give him the lead because he's definitely going to ruin it for you.
And as a Titans supporter,
yeah,
I'm not ready to call myself a fan yet, but as a Titans supporter, because I live in Nashville, seeing Ryan Tannehill play the quarterback position kind of gives me that feel as well. 1 of 8 on third down, threw a pick to start each half.
That's what I said. That's what I tweeted out. So the Bengals get the ball in both halves.
I'm like, geez, man. Like they were playing behind the 8 ball the whole freaking time, man. Their defense, that game should have been a blowout, and the Titans' defense was outstanding. I mean, Mike Vrabel did everything he could to keep this team in the game. Just couldn't hold on at the end. And I think all you had to do was just take an E, and you go into overtime, and you give yourself a chance. But he throws an ill-advised pass into freaking triple coverage.
Man, that was a terrible route. Terrible route.
Yeah, that guy was a 5th-round rookie. Like you're throwing triple coverage, playoffs, 1 seed, game on the line. You're throwing to a 5th-round rookie in triple coverage, in traffic. What did you think was going to happen? I mean, I get it. They're pros. They get paid. And the defense gets paid too. But what are you doing, Tannehill? Like, you got to know who you have in that situation. It ain't like you're throwing to freaking Julio. It ain't like you're throwing to A.J. Brown in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to force a ball to one of those 2 guys.
Mhm.
Not Westbrook Hyena. Westbrook Hyena. Whatever the hell his name is. And then, you know, of course, Joe Burrow just gets knocked down, gets up again.
Oh my God. That Bengals
sacked
offensive line.
nine times.
That man killed.
Wow. And then, you know, of course, the Rams game, you know, the Rams and the 49ers are very similar in the fact that they start strong, they wane, and then find some way to win at the end to make it look good. You know, they got
Rams did everything to lose that game.
Yeah.
They should have lost.
They should have lost. It went from they should have blown the Bucks out to they should have lost to wow, what a drive.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was watching the Falcons in the Super Bowl all over again. It was 27. Said 27-3.
Yeah. And they were going.
Brady saw that and he's like,
Tom Brady.
Game on. Yeah, you can't do that.
The goal line to make it 34-3 and, you know, coughed it up. And then
Coughed it up again.
flip. Akers was just fumbleitis, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give Tom Brady that many opportunities and think that he's not going to come back. You can't.
No.
He done
rattled.
cussed everybody out. He done cussed everybody out and everything.
The defense had him shook. Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, Aaron Donald had him shook.
He was rattled, mad because his mouth was bleeding. He fussing at the ref. I'm surprised that they threw a flag on him. I mean, they actually flagged him for that. Tom got a flag. Oh my God! And that's what shocked me. You know,
that
nobody
ref said,
makes me bleed my own blood.
That ref said, Tom, I'm not a punk. You are not finna punk me on national TV.
Yeah,
it's literally what he said.
He threw that flag high too.
He put some oomph
He
into
meant
that
that
thing.
One. Yeah.
He is a hockey league though, so he probably threw it out of the stadium.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So
yeah, his dad, his old Papa Ed is probably really proud of him on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But he ain't made it until he's wearing the Schmedium T-shirt and he can't put his hands together to call hold. You know, it's kind of like this.
With them guns out.
Did extra push-ups before he gets on TV.
Yes.
That's right. Hey, Stu, the only way to rattle Tom Brady is just throw a curveball at him. Man must have some heavy OCD. So, yeah. No, yeah, throw a curve at him. Or just completely destroy their right tackle. Poor guy was beaten like a drum the whole freaking time.
They were moving them out the way like, excuse me, I got to go make this tackle.
They were doing it politely. like it wasn't even there, man. Just bloop, get out of my way. The guy go flying. I mean,
excuse me.
I mean, that's 320 pounds flying through the air like a freaking rag doll.
Yes.
Like, are you kidding me?
We all have children, so that's like when your children doing something and you go to grab them real quick. It's like, come here. You know, it's like, no, excuse me.
Or they try to run away and you just stop them right in their tracks, you know?
Yeah, it's terrible.
And just pull them back and they can't do anything about it. I mean,
and I hate the NFL rules too. The overtime rules have got to go. They got to do something about that. That game shouldn't have ended like that. I think the Bills should have had another shot at it.
Should they go full college?
That game was good to end. I think each team should get a possession at least for sure, in my opinion. You know, whether you score, punt, whatever, I think you should at least get a possession to go down. You have to build up. I mean, it is pros. You know, they can score 5 men, but I think you should get a chance to score, you know, to be just like a touchback, you know, your chance to go down and score.
Yeah. I would even just say play an extra 10-minute period, and however it ends is how it ends. And if there's a tie, you go into two-point conversion battle.
That'll work, dude. But
kind of like what soccer
the
does
game
with
can't end
golden
like
goals.
that. I felt like a bit more oomph to it because I feel like if the Bills had one more shot, they'd went down and scored 2.
If the Bills had won the toss, they would have won the game. So whoever won the toss was winning last night.
Both defenses were. That one dude's going to get coach 30'd for the Chiefs.
We're falling.
Yeah, he's going to get coach 30'd.
What
One
about
was
the
too
Packers?
big.
And the Packers special teams coach got to get coach 30 because if you got 10 men on the field for the field goal at the end, you get a punt blocked. Their special teams been horrible all year.
He's not going to get coach 30'd. He's going to get football scooped.
Yeah, right.
Packers fire special teams coordinator.
He's
going to go to Bama.
Yeah.
As many people that are up top and are affiliated with these organizations, somebody should have been downstairs saying, hey, we only have 10 on the field. Or we have how many on the field. Something ain't right.
Yeah.
We have a guy specifically upstairs that counts everybody on special teams for that particular reason. His job is to count special teams people.
That's right. I mean,
Yeah.
high schools can do that. Like my high school, we barely had any of those penalties. I say that now we're going to have one each game next year. So, I just jinxed myself.
That's right.
Knock on wood.
Stu Mac, welcome. As they say, we're coming all the way from Scotland.
Hey.
So, anybody want to attempt this Scottish accent with this sentence here?
Come over there, I'm going to get Irish.
Come on there, you wee men. You're going to get hurt. Stu Mac. Nobody ever accused a Southern guy from Georgia for a Scottish accent. Then and then Israel, your Russian friends are in here again.
I see that they're back.
They're following you. That's probably why you kept going in and out.
Probably more than
Russians,
likely,
man. Russians coming to get you. So,
what is that?
So yeah.
Hey, what is that? Farm red.
Don't hurt yourself trying to think about that.
Yeah.
It's spam, bro.
I see the wheels turning. It's like, what?
That's the hamster wheel's going, man.
Smoke coming from above your head, Vinny.
That is steam coming from Vinny's head.
It is. Yes.
His brain is working. His brain is working overtime. His brain lost the coin toss in overtime. So yeah, I hate the overtime rules. I've hated them for a while. I mean, I'm glad. I was glad when they changed them. I was like, okay, well, we're in a step in the right direction. I don't know that that's the best way to change them, but we're headed in the right direction. Because you should just be first team to score any points won. So essentially, if you won the toss, you're going to win the game. Now, when a team is hot like that, if you win the toss, you're going to go down there and score it. But I think you just play the 10-minute period, and if it ends in a tie, you go 2-point conversions until somebody wins. And I think they should do it in the regular season. I think they should just get rid of ties altogether. And just go basically like one play from the 5 each team until you don't get it.
Yep. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's crazy. But, 17 games, you have like a 9 overtime game for this. Can you imagine seeing the stat line? Seattle wins 2-0 in 9 overtimes. Both teams just kept missing.
Exactly.
Iowa Penn State that played all those overtimes. It was only 2018. Was that
Illinois? It was Illinois Penn State.
Yeah, played all.
It's like 19-17 or something like that.
Man.
It just kept missing.
Essentially, I mean, you're pretty close with those two.
They just kept
all
missing.
that extra football and 38 combined points.
Yeah, I mean, jeez Louise.
If you bet the under, you won.
You won big time. you probably, if you're betting, but do you really win if you're betting on Illinois football?
Nah,
Nah, probably not, right?
not particularly.
Not particularly. So, Israel, let's talk about some depressing stuff. At least for us, for Vinny, for old Vinny here, Kentucky is essentially back. I mean, they hit a little road bump in Auburn, the number 1 ranked Tigers, number 2 at the time, but now they are the number 1 team in the land. But I think, Vinny, what drove that game, I actually watched that game, which is big for me because I don't typically watch basketball. But when you look at that game, the 2 injuries, I think, Severe Wheeler goes out. Even though he's not out for the game, he's out for a key stretch of the game. What was running through your head throughout the course of that game?
Well, this was, like I mentioned, LSU, you just want to see what they're able to do on the road. And because the fans were upset about the home schedule, you played a bunch of nobodies. So you go to Notre Dame and get beat and struggle. So let's see what this team can do on the road. And you get Severe hurt at LSU. You get Tata Washington hurt at LSU. They're up 9 at that time. You're looking pretty good. And then, you lose your backcourt. No scoring. The offense bogged down. Can't hold a lead. And it was kind of a carbon copy at Auburn. Full strength. They punched them in the mouth. They're up 17-7. They're up 10 or 12. The game, you lose your backcourt again. Tata Washington twists his ankle. And it looked like they were fixing to just, they got him switched up on Auburn's big man, and he hit a floater right over top of him, and then he lands and twists his ankle. I think they were fixing to wear him out until Auburn did something to adjust and, to switch. I think they're going to get him switched on that big and just milk it. And then he goes out, Wheeler goes out. They had trouble stopping penetration. Auburn's dudes were getting into the lane and lobbing it up to the big guy. That's they feasted on that and scored a bunch of points. So you just, and I think it was reflected in the polls. Kentucky didn't drop in the polls. They still stayed 12th, even though they lost to Auburn. I think they kind of took into consideration, well, they were handling business, so they had the 2 injuries, which injuries are part of it. I think if you get another shot at them, if you can play a game without the injury bug hitting you, I Bleav they're going to be all right. Because they're still.
If someone just calls screen.
Yes, yeah. Holler at those screens out because that's twice Severe's got rocked.
Yeah.
He's picking up a guy full court, and they slide over and hit him with a big solid back screen with a big. And speaking of that too, we got flashback. The first time it happened was LSU, and then he missed a couple games. He was out. I forget. He came back against Tennessee, but he missed a couple games because he didn't play against Georgia because Georgia came to Lexington. And why is Tom Crean gonna hug him by the neck when knowing good well he got a neck injury? He's like, "Hey, dude, stay healthy," and he's up there yanking on his neck.
Tom freaking Crean, man.
Tom, what are you doing, man? You know the dude's hurt with your creepy self. You hug him and help him.
Your creepy self.
He gets the come on, man.
So yeah, Tom knew what he was doing, trying to dap him up and then give him a little extra little choke on the neck. But yeah, if they can stay healthy, I Bleav they're gonna be fine. Yeah. The injury bug has been biting them here a little bit, and not able to see a full, complete team on the road. But I think if everybody can be healthy, they'll be good.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think this is not the last that we're going to see out of Kentucky. I know people are quick. People are just quick these days to write teams off, and I think writing off Kentucky would be a huge mistake for everyone. And I think when you do that, you can't discount the fact that, hey, they played their ass off and lost their entire backcourt. Auburn was riding high on some momentum. Their student section was jacked up. Katie Johnson, former teammate of Severe Wheeler, both at Georgia, now playing for the number 2 or number 1 in number 12 teams respectively. And man, it was the atmosphere in Auburn was unreal. I would like to see Kentucky. I would like to see Auburn get Kentucky on a tournament setting
Yeah.
and kind of see where the tables will turn, because obviously Calipari and they have that tournament experience that Auburn doesn't have, and some of those situations that could possibly get too big for Auburn. But man, that was just a really good, well fought basketball game.
And
you got people picnicking outside with tents, and it's 30, 20 something degrees outside. I mean, you knew it was going down. Auburn wasn't going to leave there without a fight.
Again,
Yes.
Israel's peak conditions right there.
It's
no. I work and pay rent for. I pay this mortgage for a reason, so I ain't got to sleep outside for any reason.
Except for shooting a hog, right? You don't camp out for that, do you?
Oh no. I got a box stand. And it has heat. I have a heater in it, so I refuse to be outside in the cold like that.
It was a back and forth with Auburn and Kentucky. I think Matt Jones from KSR went on McElroy and Kubelik and said that everybody was, Auburn was camping out because Kentucky was in town, and Auburn tried to say, "No, we're not doing it. This is just another game," but it's
it wasn't.
Kentucky's been the draw in basketball forever. It's always a whiteout, a t-shirt night. We're bringing back this coach. We're retiring somebody's jersey. That happens everywhere Kentucky goes. Auburn was number 2 last Tuesday. They tried to say Kentucky was just another game. They played Georgia at home. They didn't camp out for Georgia, but they camped out for Kentucky.
They didn't have to.
I'm just so they can say that it was just another game, but it wasn't. They camped out for Kentucky. That's why they was taking their shirts off and running through this crowd after they won, because
Kentucky is the Alabama of basketball, man.
Yeah,
everybody wants a piece of them.
Yeah.
In order to beat the man,
Tennessee,
you got to beat the man.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee always, do have Allen Houston back, or Bernard King, or retired. Whenever they do something with Chris Lofton, you can bet your house that'll be when Kentucky's in town. It's just it's the way it's always been. So it was just funny hearing Auburn try to say, "No, we ain't doing nothing special for y'all. This is just another game." Come on.
No, then camp out for Georgia, who is winless in the conference. Israel, that was. I don't know if you watched that game. I hosted on Ravon Sports for the Georgia South Carolina basketball game. That was miserable.
Dude, I can't. There's a lot of things I can do, but I can't watch that.
I can't watch.
One thing that bothers me, and you guys, coaches, and you guys understand, is watching a team play not to the best of their ability, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. And I understand that it's probably going to happen It's probably going to happen at the end of the season. But they're not playing hard. I can't watch a team not play hard. I can watch you play hard and get beat. I can watch that, but I can't watch you not play hard and get destroyed. Can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a baseball guy and a football guy, but when you did step on the court, Israel, what was your game like? What was your basketball game
like? For me, and especially now, because I'm still reliving my hoop dreams, at school.
He takes him in the gym. You're the PE teacher that just rains on him, aren't you?
Yes. It's about quickness and toughness for me. If I'm bigger than you, then I'm going to try to drive you to the hole. Just team basketball. To me, basketball is not hard, but it's methodic. You have to do certain things in order to be great at the sport. I can't coach basketball, but I can tell you little bits and pieces to win, basketball games. And right now, one of those we're not doing very well, and that's playing with heart. You can see it as they run up and down the court, as they come onto the court. You can watch in the coaching and just the staff on the sideline. It just doesn't look good. If I could go up there and coach basketball right now, I would. But
they probably
I think they should just hand the reins over to Coach Taylor and let her coach the boys and the girls at this point. I bet they play better.
Yeah, old Joni. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Israel. We could sit here and say, okay, we're not really good in transition. We're terrible on the boards. We're not very good. We're not very good for, but all of that comes from the fact that we just don't play hard. We're not competitive.
Yeah.
We're just out there, and it's just like we're five guys running around in the same jersey.
Yeah, and,
it's all
basketball players tend to have a tendency to try to act tough. Like they're big guys on campus, and you're not. Your football team just won national title. Baseball team is ranked number 12 in the nation. Gymnastics is killing it. I mean,
women's basketball is 15-3.
So you're not looking very good. And that's a reflection not just on you, but just on the whole entire program as a whole. You're not going to get recruits, and you wonder why kids are going to Kentucky because they want to win. And it ain't even the fact of going to the NBA anymore, because if you're really good, they'll find you. But it's the point of they want to win. They want to be a part of something special. And right now, we're not very special right now. I mean, that's just the truth. That's just that's just an outside guy looking in, and not even a guy pulling the strings. You go to the Kentucky game and you see the passion. You see Calipari over there just going ham. Bruce Pearl over there sweating through his nipples. That's what basketball is to them. So I mean, then you look at us and it's like, all right,
is it with everybody else doing so good? Is that maybe a good thing that nobody's even paying attention to Tom Crean? Or is it apathy? Nobody even bothers? Or is it a frustration about, we should be doing better? Is there still people upset about Georgia basketball, or is it just men's basketball at Georgia is completely ignored because everybody's focusing on the championship, the parade, the women's team, the gymnastics, the baseball? What is it? Is there still the fan base that's ticked off and pissed about it, or is everybody?
There's a segment that's pissed off, and that's a very small segment, and the rest are just kind of like it's turned into
apathy.
Yeah, total apathy. Like nobody talks about basketball.
That's the worst.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like
that's
how far it's gotten.
Of a coach. I'm looking at it from the standpoint of a coach, and they're just not playing hard. And I don't have sympathy, apathy, empathy, all the words that end in Y. I don't have any of them for them right now because they're not playing hard. And you can see, and that's the bad thing is blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
Blatantly obvious. And like I said, I'm not a basketball coach. I can't go out there and do the things that basketball coaches do because that's just not my sport. But one thing you will do, if I was a basketball, you're going to play hard. That's what you're going to do. And we're just not doing that.
They're not physical. They're not hard. They play with no heart. And I just
that starts at the top.
Yeah, and it's got. I mean, I think we all know what's going to happen. So the question is now, where do you go? And I think it's got to be somebody that's young. I think you're going to have to roll the dice. I mean, you're not going to lure John Calipari away from Kentucky. You're just not going to do it. Like I know that's every coaching search. It's okay. Who we're going to get Jim Calhoun. We're going to get Tom Izzo. We're going to get Coach K. No, we're not. We're not even going to get. We're not even going to get Wojciechowski. Like, I mean, we've got to really think outside the box here.
What's the old Louisville coach? Is
Pitino?
Is it Pitino? At this point, I'm willing to roll the dice to get Pitino at this point because this is bad. Or you go and get one of these young NBA guys that just got fired, and go get one of those guys.
I think you get a young NBA guy. I mean, those guys, they know basketball. It's just that's not the problem. You just go get one of those guys and say, okay, come on in and get us turned around. I think if you just get 3 guys out of Atlanta every year, you don't really need to do any recruiting. You just go get 3 guys out of Atlanta every year. Supplement with some supplement here and there. But for the most part, go get your 3 main guys out of Atlanta and let's roll.
Slick Rick, I don't know if he would come to Athens or not, but he can
Not
still
a chance
coach.
in hell he would go to Athens.
Nah, that's just wishful thinking.
Mm-hmm.
He's rocking and rolling at Iona.
Yeah, he beat Alabama earlier and everything.
Oh man, like I would even say go get Tommy Amaker. Go get, just find some like mid-major guy that always like kills it in the freaking tournament. That could use a raise and just pay him.
Mm-hmm.
Just pay the guy. Like go get who's the guy at George Mason years ago when they went to the Final Four? Go get that guy. You can't do much worse. You can't do worse than winless in the conference.
You got to get somebody that's going to relate to the kids, with, Bruce Pearl and Coach Cal, let's look at it like this. Coach K knew he was going to be on the way out. He knew he couldn't get with the young crowd anymore. So he retired. He retired on top. I'm okay with that. With this day and age in the new basketball era, the older coaches are great, but you got to understand they also have great assistant coaches who, although they're older, they have good young coaches that come in, that can vibe with those kids and do things like that. Georgia doesn't have any of those from what I've seen.
No, they don't.
They all know that. They all know the expectation of Coach Cal. They know that when they step in that gym, what the expectation is. He ain't gonna be in. They know that, but they also have some young coaches on that staff. And Vinny, I'm pretty sure this better not do that. They're like, hey, bro, like we can't do that. Like this is how we want to do it. That can, get them back on track. We don't have that because if you see that, then if we did, then you see a difference in the way we play, and it's not.
And also those guys, Coach K, even in his last year, Coach K, Tom Izzo, Calipari, those guys, they have a certain aura about them. Like they can walk in and it doesn't matter. Like it's like with Nick Saban in football. Like he's 70 years old, and these kids are like, because it's Nick Saban, he doesn't like those guys don't have to relate. Those kids have to relate to him. He doesn't have to relate to them. And they do a great job of hiring assistants and empowering their assistants, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. But I just think when you look at these coaches, that's part of their mystique. That's part of why they can kind of stay in the game a little bit and be successful, because they understand that part of it, and they understand, okay, this is where I'm lacking, so I need to go hire this guy and that guy to kind of help fill those gaps.
Exactly.
And the kids know that. The kids aren't stupid. And like Calipari, he's not going to try to be something he's not. The kids will see right through that. He just addresses it with, okay, this guy's going to help supplement me, and this guy's going to kind of help boost our program up, and the kids know that. Versus the kids know that you're just full of what. And I think their kids are starting to see that Tom Crean is, and maybe Tom Crean in his next stop will be great somewhere at like St. Bonaventure, but he's just not a fit for Georgia. It's just not. It's done.
He's written that. I went to the Final Four at Marquette with Dwayne Wade for a long time. He left. He got the Indiana job and didn't really. Indiana ain't been Indiana since night. He wasn't able to get them back, and they're still.
They made one Final Four appearance. Beyond Bobby Knight.
With Mike Davis, whatever.
Yeah.
And now he's at Georgia. Crean's milked the D Wade Marquette thing for 2 jobs, and hasn't really, performed up to expectation in either one of them.
Now go run the Colonial League. Go to freaking Monmouth or somewhere.
Name a football coach that would have as long as he's had to get it right. I don't know one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Kirk Ferentz. No, I don't know. Especially Power 5. I think some of these G5 guys do, but
not in Power 5. You ain't gonna have this. You're gonna have the talent that he's had, and to still do what you've been doing either. You know what I mean?
Totally.
See them play inspired basketball, not inspired
You have,
basketball.
Especially Anthony Edwards, the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And you can't get to the tournament. You can't get to the dance. You have
Coach Taylor's over there killing it.
Yeah.
On the women's side.
They're 15-3.
She came in with nothing.
Yeah. Jenna Stady's going to be an All-American. Israel, I've grown up. I got her name right. Jenna Stady.
There you go.
That one tripped me
1 year
before.
later.
I know, right? Hey.
I tell you,
There's
that Barker
no
girl,
timeline,
she's bad now. You got Barker. I mean, she's got a squad over there now. That's giving people a run for their money.
Yeah, they're giving the SEC. I mean, the SEC's dominant women's basketball. I mean, you have Tennessee, South Carolina, and Georgia. I think all right there. Duke is up there with Kara Lawson. Ole Miss is right there with Georgia, and it's crazy, man. But now the football season's over for the most part, I'm gonna try to get into some. It's so hard. Like, it's really difficult to get into college basketball when your team is bad.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's just tough. So, but
so that's why I rely on you and Vinny to keep me in the basketball loop. I mean, I'll watch a couple, but I always watch Vinny's tweets, and I'll see your tweets too. I'm like, yeah, I like them and retweet them, because I'm like, I have no clue what they're talking about.
if it wasn't for Ravon Sports, I would have not even touched that game last week.
Yeah, shout out to Ravon Sports, man.
They got some. I talked to Britt today. They got some big things going over there. So they got some things in the works. They just got to raise some money. So it takes people like you donate. So I'm gonna leave you with this last little nugget before we get out of here. John Stockton is banned from Gonzaga.
What?
Over mask rules.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Washington State, guys. Yeah, Gonzaga suspended John Stockton's men's basketball season tickets because he won't follow the school's mask mandate.
He's a huge anti-vax guy.
His jersey is in the rafters.
This would be like y'all banning Herschel Walker for something, essentially.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, honestly,
he's the Herschel Walker
of Gonzaga. Yeah, he's a Herschel. Yeah. It ain't Adam Morrison. So basically,
he's the Dominique of Gonzaga. He's the Dominique Wilkins of Gonzaga.
You mean the entire? You mean he's the entire history of Gonzaga basketball?
Well, for a long time he was, until the past couple decades when they got, mid-major build up.
Yeah.
Dan Dickow, Adam Morrison, and now they're kind of a household deal. But before all that, it was John Stockton, and I didn't even know. I was a grown man before I even knew we went to Gonzaga. I just knew him as the Jazz point guard, and then I was like, "Oh, he went to Gonzaga." They starting lineups. I heard him say it one time or something. Like,
him and Jeff Hornacek were the last two to rock the short shorts.
Yeah.
Now the short shorts are coming back.
I missed that. You missed me with all that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I was a '90s kid. It was in the '70s that stuff was everybody's
'70s and '80s.
Everybody's quadriceps was out, and the socks were high. And the '70s,
guys out, thighs out.
Yes, and David Thompson and all those dudes, and and now Russell Westbrook, the dude's rolling them up at the waist and trying to get it's coming back to it. But I wasn't.
It's weird.
I wasn't a youngster in that time. That wasn't my thing.
Well, if you've ever seen Russell Westbrook
to my ankles,
his attire outside of basketball, he dresses rather conservatively on the basketball court. You ought to see what he wears otherwise. He makes Cam he makes Cam Newton look standard.
Who?
Russell Westbrook.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous.
The outfits.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I don't get it. That's a part of culture that can miss me too. It's those outfits, those crazy outfits. I guess they do it for attention. I guess the fact that I'm mentioning it it's just kind of why they do it, I guess.
Exactly. You got sucked into it.
I know. I got sucked in.
I was team long shorts way below your knees, shorts to your shins. That was me.
I like to, yeah. I like them I like them right at the knees. Like I don't like them shins. I think that gets for me, it makes me look squatty because I'm not very tall.
I'm not either.
I'm the shortest power forward in the country. I have no ball handling skills, but I can back you down and hit a little baby hook on you.
There you go.
There you
Or
go.
fade away from the baseline.
There's it. That's all
But
need.
you asked me to shoot a three.
School faculty game. Corey's in. He's ready to go.
I'm the assist, rebound. I'm the Rodman of the faculty team.
Love it.
I'm the
Love
Rodman
it.
of the faculty team, except for the crazy hair. I'm the Rodman of the faculty team. I'm the one that gets under the skin.
Hey, that's important.
Coach Ski, he can have all the points, which he did. He took some dude to school, man. He crossed him up, made him fall down, drove it right by him.
Mm.
If only he could dunk, that would have capped it off. But guys, we've been going about an hour and 6 minutes. So we're gonna wrap it right there. Student faculty game. I'm gonna be the Rodman of it. Israel's gonna be the Jordan of his game, of his faculty game. They're gonna get the damn ball to Israel and everybody clear out. For me, it's
ISO.
how fast can I get the ball out of my hands?
Gotta love it, baby. Gotta love it.
Vinny, you got to come visit one of our. You got to come visit us when we play these games.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
So, but we are the Beast of the East podcast. You can find Vinny at Vinny Hardy, which he has right there on the screen, at TroupeStar28, at Coach Burton 36 on Twitter. You can find us on the Bleav Podcast Network, Bleav in Kentucky, Bleav in Georgia Dawgs, and then of course SEC After Dark. You can find Israel Monroe Football. He's the offensive coordinator there, gearing up for season number 2 if he doesn't become a head coach somewhere else before then. Gearing up for season 2 for the tornadoes. It's a tornado warning down in South Georgia. I'm gearing up for season number 6 at Hillwood as the offensive coordinator, and it's going to be a great 2022. We got some big things afoot for the show. Of course, we're in our alternate set tonight, but usually you can check us on y'all's conference network. We are live we're going to be live each and every Monday night, or try to be at least. And if we're not, we'll tell you why, and then we'll catch back up with you. But for Vinny Hardy and Israel Troupe, I'm Corey Burton. We are the Beast of the East podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network, y'all's conference network, presented by Betonline.ag. It's where the game starts. So long. See you later. Have a great week. And I would say go Dogs, but that's probably futile in the basketball world. But hope your teams win, and hope you have a great week, even better weekend. And we'll see you back here next week on the Beast of the East podcast. Peace.